educated. Every villager has got some education. They analyze the political situation very well. Among them you get graduates who have taken open degrees from various universities, and there are the graduates who have taken external courses and got degrees. So they are very well informed, and the TV and the radio has gone to them. So the whole aspect why they voted was the negative aspect of certain things which they felt through the party organizers in that village context. I can quote villages, but let me take one example. Now we have this Grama development, Samvardhana societies, and then Gama Naguma. Now some villages, when they see the contracts going to the one side on a political basis, they find it, they think that that man is making the money. That the transparency is not there for them to see. Then they see that person who has got the contract making money. Now really the Gama Naguma should be working where there should have been a contribution to the process of about 20% on actual work by the people. But I have noticed in a certain place in Gaul, where I am living in that village, that when they pass out the government gives 500,000 rupees for the project, government only contributes 400,000, and the other 20%, 100,000 should come out of your own village labor. This is never put in by those villagers. So the contractor takes the projects and he goes on doing it without the cooperation of the rest of the people. So the whole idea of the whole project of where all the villagers get together is lost. So we have to tackle that in the future, that when we come to the future, that is there. Then there is a certain degree of appointments made by these local organizers who call themselves the party organizers and all that. You have to get a letter from them to put a child to a school, to get a job. Now that has to vanish in the system. So the negative vote, I might say, was a negative vote not for the president, was because it was a negative vote against the village organizer whom they see directly. Some were intelligent enough to say see that the president is not responsible for this. Because
you mean not responsible?
No, for the negative aspects of what they have seen. He has done everything with the good intention. But unfortunately, in our system, even though the president is the head of the executive, he has to appoint cabinet people and others from the elected people. Now, some of them haven't performed for many years. So people have basic needs. Our people in the village look at one thing for a long time. Without even having their own food, they want education. They find a lot of obstacles in the education field, right? And they have, from the time they go to put a child into a school where they claim that the principal or a teacher wants money to put a child into the school, from that time they have these problems of education.
What about the health system?
Health system too, they find the same thing, that when they go, I know I have gone to hospitals and found it very good, the staff. But sometimes you feel that they don't have the medicines to be given. So they have to write a receipt and give it to get the medicine outside. Or for the X-ray. I live close to Kalubowila hospital, and I see villagers coming from as far as Homagama area, coming to Kalubowila. And every time they have to go to one of the private institutions which are full right round the hospital to get their basic facility which they are after. So, after building such a good hospital, why haven't they provided that? So, unfortunately in our system, the president hasn't removed these people for obvious reasons, the war and the stability of the government. But now we are coming into a stage where people expected stability, and people will have he will have to act as the real man in charge of the execution of all what the people needs.
Right, and now this was when we were speaking about basically the village voter, right?
Correct.
And the village voter who did not vote for the present president.
Yes.
So now can we also in the same manner look at the north and the east, because that's again another section that we have to look at. So let's look at in the north, first let's look at the voter who voted for the president in the north.
Yeah, if you look at it now, this was the opportunity given to all the people of the north, and they have used it. The polls might show, the reading of the poll of the electoral receipt will show low voter turnout, but I am not sure of the statistics from where they got this. Some say in the 1980s, so that is why it is there as low vote percentage or whatever it is. So what we can look at is what the president got, President Mahinda, and what Sarath Fonseka got. Now definitely in those areas Sarath Fonseka has got a large majority or large percentage, I might put it, and the president has got a small percentage. Now I attribute this for two reasons. One is they expected the government in power to do things miraculously in a short period, which is impossible for anyone, even God, to do something of that nature, to provide everything what was lost during 30 years, where the army walked in, the Indian forces walked in, LTT walked in and went out, destroyed a lot of things, infrastructure, all that. So they expected this miracle to happen, and that didn't take place. That cannot take place in a short period. But we must understand a percentage of the votes were given to President too. That is because they thought, those people thought that the stability will bring these things back to them, bring the services, the infrastructure to sell the goods to the southern markets, all that will come in. It has to come in with time, and the traders from south will have to go and establish themselves, and the traders from the north will have to establish themselves, and there are so many things, because the complete infrastructure has been lost from education onwards. On top of that, I believe that there was an element of destability which wanted to show that as destable.
So then are you referring now to the voter who basically voted for, now we were speaking about the voter who voted for the president, and that was a minority when we compare the percentages, right? So now are we going to look at the percentage who voted for the opposition candidate?
Correct. So when you look at the large percentage of those who voted for the opposition candidate, I think they were led by various international propaganda and the diaspora and the people abroad who never suffered under those circumstances. They wanted to have their dream of a Ilam.
So are you saying that it's an international community sort of influenced these people in the north? How?
I believe that because...
But how?
Because what I believe is, from the day Sri Lanka got independence, the people who were our colonial masters and the West wanted to keep this place divided. Just like they were successful in Pakistan, first they were successful in India in creating Pakistan, which helped them to a great extent. So they wanted to see all the colonies divided. They did that tried to do it in Congo, they have done it in various other places, you name it. So they wanted to do that. So they will do